Hello there, this Sunday, the 12th of November 2023. I hope you're keeping well wherever you are. First, I'm very happy that a good number of you listened to me and read Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky describes his literature as dissident literature. So, it's not very mainstream. Officialdom in the United States of America does not like such literature because it tells the truth about the empire. Secondly, just to remind you, I've said before here that Professor Samuel Makinda, a Kenyan scholar, always cautions us that knowledge is created for certain ends. So that means that whenever you read a piece of work, some knowledge system, whatever it is, you must always be very critical because in most likelihood, that knowledge or that knowledge system shall have been created to achieve certain ends. I want to help you today to further understand what is going on around the world. And today I want to introduce another author, Peter Taff. Now, the name Taff is spelled Taffe, so I'm not very sure about the pronunciation. But Peter Taff wrote this book, Empire Defeated. Basically, this is about the Vietnamese War. And what I want to say today is that you can draw parallels between the Vietnamese War, which lasted for many years, and what is going on today in Gaza. So I will take you through a few select paragraphs in this book to make you understand. I'm particularly focused on the growing anti-war movement. It is the anti-war movement which contributed significantly to the end of the Vietnamese war. And we are seeing today unprecedented mobilization by citizens and citizen groups to protest the killings that are going on in Gaza. So this is what Peter Taft said in this book, Empire Defeated. The Vietnamese War demonstrates conclusively that the amassing of unprecedented military power, which is in turn founded on a crushing economic dominance, is no guarantee that a superpower is invincible. The deep skepticism of the official leaders of the movement contrasts, moreover, with the energy, optimism, and determination of the new generation to struggle against outmoded capitalism. Many fresh layers of young people have moved into struggle through the mass anti-capitalist and anti-war movements by the events of 9/11, of course, as was seen then in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and so on. Now, Peter Taft goes on to say, even though this war, the Vietnamese War, was predominantly a peasant war, the Vietnamese evoked enormous sympathy and support from the working class in the industrialized countries and inspired young people in particular. They demonstrated that there are stronger forces than napalm bombs, planes, tanks, and bullets. The movement of an enslaved people on a program of social and national liberation to throw off the chains of landlordism, capitalism, and imperialism. That is what Peter Taft said in this book. He said further, the Vietnamese War revealed the ruthless barbarity of capitalism and imperialism and the lengths to which it is prepared to go to defend its class interests. US imperialism dropped 8 million tons of explosives on South Vietnam, North Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia. Now, I will leave that section and just read the final one here. Now, the anti-war protests, this is what he says about the anti-war protests that were witnessed then and are being witnessed today. In Britain on 17 March 1968, tens of thousands marched to the US Embassy in Grosvenor Square to protest against US crimes against the Vietnamese. Police, including mounted police, galloping at full speed into the demonstration in Grosvenor Square, where US Marines had been secretly installed to prevent the embassy from being overrun, clashed violently with demonstrators at the end of the march. In October of the same year, 100,000 marched in London against the war. So alarmed was the British ruling class, so virulent was it in denouncing the movement. And you've heard Rishi Sunak, led by the Times newspaper, that in the week leading up to the demonstration, it warned of a semi-insurrectionary outcome. They effectively believed their own propaganda. Finally, Peter Taft says, the implacability of the Vietnamese, their refusal to bow to the military might of the US, lit a fire under the US ruling class in the form of a mass anti-war movement, which compelled it to withdraw from Vietnam. The same logic applies now in any wars in the proxy war theaters that are going on today. The very same logic with mass protests going on. So one thing I want you to watch out for is what will be the impact of the ongoing mobilization across the world against the crimes being committed in Gaza.